Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today.
Better get the coleslaw, y'all, because we're having us a barbecue.
Tia Mowry says she had to divorce her husband, Cory Hardrict, in order to experience the world of dating. Well, a critical question I have to ask Tia Mowry is, what was she doing when she was married to her husband, Cory Hardrict? Because married couples do go out on dates and have date nights, and they have a great time on a date. So a woman doesn't have to be single in order to experience dating. She can have a date with her husband and have a great time with him. Now, the critical question I have to ask regarding Tia Mowry is, why would you want to divorce your husband to go out here and experience the world of dating? Because the whole idea of divorcing a husband to experience the world of dating seems quite foolish to me, because when a woman has a husband, she has a man in her life who can go out here and would have the money to be able to take her to different places that she wants to go, and they could basically go out on a whole lot of dates together and enjoy their times together at these different events. And when it comes to married people dating, this is something that married people have done for years. In fact, it was so popular at one time that in 2010, they made a movie starring Steve Carell and Tina Fey called Date Night, about a married couple that went out on a date, and over the course of that date, they had a whole lot of comedic events transpire around that movie. And the movie Date Night in and of itself was a box office hit, because it basically showed something that every average everyday married person usually did on Friday night or Saturday night, was go out and have a nice evening with their spouse. And this was something that was done for many years, where husbands would basically take their wives out to movies and go out to restaurants. This is something they would do, and this is why they would call up babysitters. They would call up a babysitter and have them sit with the kids, or have grandma sit with the kids while they went out and enjoyed dinner and a movie. And this was basically married people experiencing dating and enjoying each other's company. But Tia Mowry wants us to believe that you have to divorce your husband to experience dating, and that basically feels just as backwards as taking a computer from a Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system of modern times and taking us all the way back to Windows ME with an AOL CD to get on the internet and a 56K modem. Because the whole idea of divorcing a husband in order to experience the world of dating is completely backwards, and completely backwards because the whole objective of dating is supposedly to be able to find a husband, and find a husband to go out here and be married to in order to establish a family. And that's where Tia Mowry has it completely backwards as related to the whole idea of divorcing a husband to go out and experience the world of dating, because people go and enter the world of dating because what they want to do is try to find that husband in order to be married. And as they're married, they'll go out and continue to have dates and dinners together because they want to share their time with each other. But the whole thing is, she's thinking about experiencing dating because, in her opinion, since she didn't get to experience dating at 18 years old, she thinks that she missed out on something, when in actuality, she didn't see how she was blessed not to have to experience the world of dating, which is an absolute nightmare compared to its predecessor known as courtship. Now, before the world of dating was created, there was something called courtship, and courtship was something that established men did when they looked to go out here and look for a woman who would eventually become their wives. Now, courtship was something where a man had to, one, already be established with a job, his own residence, and an ability to be able to prove that he could provide. And once he had already established himself as a person who had a job and could take care of himself, he could go out here and pursue young women from about the age of about 18 to 25 by going to their parents and asking if he could go out here and date that woman or court that woman and court that woman with their consent. That's usually how courtship went, because the courtship usually went through the girl's father, and the girl's father basically had to have dinner with this man, and the parents had to sign off on the courtship, and the courtship usually took anywhere from 180 days to 365 days. And usually at the end of the courtship, either the man said that he had gotten to know the woman long enough to say that he wanted to marry her, or he wanted to just end things and move on. So that's how courtship went in this country for many years, up until about the late 1940s, early 1950s, with until the establishment of the social construct of the teenager. Now, before the social construct of the teenager, many adolescents were just known as youths, and many of these youth were just young people, and because these young people basically were working jobs and making money, many people didn't think much of them. But until Madison Avenue in Hollywood and corporate America came up with the concept of the teenager, and when they came up with the concept of the teenager, that's how courtship was pushed aside for dating. And dating was basically something created by Madison Avenue, Hollywood, and corporate America in order to make money off of adolescents who were youths but now were turned into teenagers. And these teenagers, basically because they had large amounts of disposable income, what they wanted to do was court the teenagers in order to get them to go to the movies and go to the restaurants at night, and then be able to use this as a way to make money off those teenagers as related to them getting involved with relationships. That was the whole concept of dating. It was basically made so that they could make money off a younger audience as related to the whole idea of relationships, because courtship usually catered to older, more established men who were usually about 25 to about 30 years old at the time, and usually they went to pursue women who were about 18 to 25, and many of these businesses didn't want to go out here and court those type of customers because they couldn't make as much money. And because they couldn't make as much money off the older customers, what they wanted to do was court the younger customers, because one, they were extremely naive, two, they basically had large amounts of money, and three, they would spend money very impulsively. And that's how they created the whole concept of dating. And again, dating was something that big business made up so that they could make money off young kids, getting them to spend money on movie tickets, getting them to spend money on concerts, getting them to spend money at no-tell motels to have casual sexual encounters. Once she's dropped the skid mark jockey boomers, and he could put the carbon rod secretly in the atomic waste reactor for his taste of the waste from the special place. And again, that was basically the whole experience of dating. Dating was a business deal because relationships were always about business. But we have Tia Mowry sitting there telling us that she wants to experience dating, not appreciating the opportunity God has given her to avoid the entire dating and social marketplace, which is a complete nightmare, because the whole world of dating in and of itself is a nightmare, especially for a man who has to go out here and shoulder most of these expenses. Because when it comes to with dating, you have to go out here and get involved with multiple women and see if you're compatible with them. And again, that in and of itself is a bit of a nightmare for most guys, because you're spending time investing time in these women, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to wind up dealing with someone who isn't compatible with you. And with many of these guys, some of them are just, you get frustrated because you're looking to get involved with someone and hope to find a partner, but a lot of times it's hard to find a partner because, especially in the modern social marketplace, many of the women have serious issues, like possibly, again, being divorced, in that they've already had a sexual relationship with another man, which means they have the spirit and DNA of another man bonded to them. And other women are single mothers, so they've already, again, not only got the spirit and DNA of another man, but they've got a child that they're going to make a priority. And other women have, again, serious mental health issues, or they have serious daddy issues that make it where it's, again, a nightmare in and of itself. So no rational, critical thinking person, man or woman, would want to experience the world of dating, because there's not much in the social marketplace these days. And since there's nothing there, most smart people don't even want anything to do with it. And if you can get an opportunity to avoid that social marketplace, you would take that opportunity and really appreciate the fact that you don't have to deal with that social marketplace. That's what Tia Mowry doesn't understand about how God has blessed her. He had basically blessed her to basically find a husband when she was young and be with that husband of her youth, and not have to deal with that nightmare of a social marketplace, a nightmare of social marketplace, since it was about the late 80s or the early 90s. It was a bit of a nightmare, because after the crack epidemic, the entire social marketplace became a complete nightmare of super hypergamous women. And these super hypergamous women were basically looking for the rappers, looking for the ball players, and looking for what they would consider to be high value men. And most guys, basically, when we're out here, we're not getting any sort of attention if we're just an average, ordinary, working, everyday brother, because women these days are basically looking for this high status man that Hollywood and Madison Avenue told them that would be available, and most other guys don't have a chance. And that is the world of dating, and it's a, again, complete nightmare, because while these women have the champagne and caviar taste, they basically are in the gutter looking for Pookie and Ray Ray and Romy Rome when they were in their prime. And as they get older and they continue to be in the social marketplace, what's left in the social marketplace after the regular men have basically picked up and gotten involved with whatever women they could find that would actually take time with them, this what is left for women Tia Mowry's age to experience in the world of dating are basically, again, old Pookie, who is basically at the club because mama allowed him to drive her Honda Accord or her Buick LeSabre to the club because she didn't need it for bingo night at the church. Old Ray Ray, who basically got off the second shift at work in security, so he comes in at about maybe 2-3 a.m. after working second, third shift, after washing himself up in his studio apartment. And then there's Romy Rome, who comes in the club from about 9 to about midnight, seeing who he can get to drop their skid mark jockey thong in exchange for some shrimp fried rice and some chicken wangs, a 2-piece chicken dinner from the Arab red and white chicken place, or some White Castle burgers. I mean, this is the world of dating. No, the world of dating isn't what people think it is, about guys taking you out to fancy restaurants or taking you out for magical evenings. No, that ended in the era of the early 1980s, where you had guys out here who were working good jobs and women appreciating a guy working a good job like a UPS or the post office, or getting himself one of these decent jobs. No, that ended in the mid 80s with the crack epidemic, where these women got super hypergamous and they didn't appreciate that from those brothers. No, what they want is the super magical evening at Lachey Whitey, provided by the dope boy or the rapper. And again, those guys all went to jail and are dead or in prison by about 1995. So there's not many of those. There's not many guys out there who won't give you no magical evening at the Lachey Whitey restaurant. No, the world of dating, as it is, has basically become a cesspool of people who go to meet at a club or meet at some space, and eventually all that woman gets is a date that basically costs $40, where a dude either takes her to the Arab red and white chicken place, takes her to the Church's Chicken, or takes her to one of these White Castles, and after taking her to the Arab red and white chicken place for a 2-piece, the Chinese restaurant for some shrimp fried rice and some chicken wings or some White Castle burgers, they basically go find a hotel somewhere, and after he winds up getting his taste of the atomic waste from the special place after the skid mark jockey thong is dropped, this is where the date ends at $40, and that's basically what dating is today. And again, Tia Mowry left a marriage where she was with a husband making millions of dollars, and now she's just dealing with guys who are only going to spend $40. And again, that's the world of dating. That's the world of dating today, and it's the world of dating today because most men don't want to invest money or time in women today, because the average woman has had over 80 sexual partners over the course of to being about 30 years old, and may even have more sexual partners than that due to all of these hookup apps and dating apps. So most guys don't really want to invest in dating, and again, the experience of dating isn't the same because again, during courtship, you had a time to get to know someone, and even in the days of from the 50s to the 70s when they created dating, people got a chance to know people and could just go out here and have a good time. But once we got into the crack epidemic and the super hypergamy, that basically ended at this point, and that's where dating became a cesspool, and again, a cesspool that nobody really with their right mind wants to get into, not a place where people want to get into, especially now in this era of hookups and apps. I mean, this is what Tia Mowry left her marriage for. Again, the serenity of being in a marriage with a husband, which is what most women aspire to be. And again, if she wanted to experience the world of dating, she could have just gone out on a date with her husband, gone out to the same nice restaurants with her husband, gone out to concerts with her husband, gone out and hung out with her husband, and basically gotten closer and more intimate with her husband, and could have avoided all of the whole situation regarding the disastrous dating marketplace, could have avoided all of this, because women, for years, when they got married, they went out on dates with their husband. It's been something done all the time. And again, you could date your husband and again enjoy his company and then go back home and continue to count all your money, count your millions of dollars, instead of having to go out here looking for random guys to spend $40 on you, and not be in a situation where you're feeling jammed up, where this guy, after he spends $40, is expecting to get the draws. Again, you can go back and be with your husband and give him the draws, which are going to be disease-free and basically going to be in a safe space. Again, I don't understand why Tia Mowry divorced a husband and looked to walk away from the wealth of a marriage as related to love, walk away from the wealth of a marriage that was making money, again, walk away from a marriage that was making millions of dollars, all to go out here and date random guys who were just going to spend $40. Now, if you want to learn how to avoid winding up in the situation that Tia Mowry is currently in, as related to the paradigm of failure, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Why 70% of Black Women Are Single at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to learn why women like Tia Mowry are all caught up in this whole idea of dating being better than marriage, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos taking celebrities to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, All About Nikki, a fabulous first season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the fabulous first season, in paperback and e-readers today.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, All About the Goddess. The Goddess Next Door bears all in the art studio to catch a campus stalker in this action-packed Isis series mystery. Get your copy of Isis, All About the Goddess in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.